श्री श्री आनंदमयी मात की जय. For some days I had been eating rice regularly. One day I was invited to Rajendra Kushhari's home for a meal during a period when I was observing silence. Sitting down to eat, I found that when I tried to carry the rice to my mouth, my grasp slackened and all the food slipped through my fingers. My hands were neither weak nor numb, yet every time I brought the food to my mouth, my grasp would loosen. In spite of my effort to do so, I was not able to eat. The members of the family were deeply distressed and said, "There must have been some serious lapse on our part." I reassured them that from time to time such changes came over this body automatically as if propelled by a machine. The self remained in equipoise. I returned to Shahbag. Another day, when I sat down for my evening meal, I found my fingers slacken their hold on the food and the food falling on the ground. I lifted the plate from the ground with my left hand and took the food to my mouth with my right hand. I ate in this manner for about 3 or 4 days, but found afterwards that even in this way the right hand would not reach the mouth. Then I began to mix together all the items that had been cooked, scoop as much of the food as my left hand could hold, and with my right hand put the food in my mouth and eat slowly. After 1 or 2 days, even that would not work. Bholanath had noticed that I was hardly eating. One day, while sitting down to eat, he called me, and sitting before him with my 2 hands cupped together, I said to him, "Give me whatever food you want, just once." I ate by bringing my mouth to whatever he gave me. Then later I found that my hands could not reach the mouth at all. Just as the mimosa curls up the moment it is touched, so too did my entire body feel inert as soon as my hands came close to my mouth. There seemed to be no control over anything. It was as if I had lost the ability to do a simple task like lifting the food with my hands to feed myself. This body was like a child playing with different toys. Hunger, desire to eat did not seem to exist for her at all. Instead, there was only serenity. When Bholanath questioned her, she replied almost tearfully like a child, "I do not do anything of my own free will. The hands do not rise and I cannot eat." Bholanath said, "All right, I shall feed you." From that day onwards, I stopped feeding myself. At the beginning of this stage, the person feeding this body would also have to sit with her. Otherwise, she would soon get up saying, "I won't eat anymore." Later, it came to this body's khayal that all the dishes cooked were to be mixed and fed to her with only 2 fingers just once, as one might hold a single blade of grass. Those who fed her followed this rule twice every day. On alternate days, water was also given once. After 5.5 months had gone by in this manner, on the 7th day of Basanti Puja, some milk was sent from Jyotish's home. This body took only that for the following 3 days. On the night of 10th day, she took rice. There are always subtle links working at the root of all things. Again, links that are even more subtle than these cause all actions to come to their fruition in different ways. As in the world of action, so also in the spiritual sphere, these subtle links take various paths. Later, for several days, I ate like I used to earlier. After 4 or 5 years had gone by, one day at the Ramana ashram, all those around me insisted that I eat with my hands. This body too had a khayal to do so. I sat down to eat, and a strange feeling came over me that made me wander all over the ashram, at times feeding myself with a tiny morsel, and at others feeding whoever I found in front of me, including animals and birds. In this manner, sometimes sitting and sometimes walking, I took a long time to finish the midday meal. At night, I was served sandesh and some other items. I smeared them carefully on the ground with the thought that doing so was equivalent to my eating it. However, the people observing this behavior were perturbed and began saying that if this body was to survive, she must be fed. Several people now requested that they be allowed to feed this body. From then onwards, whoever happened to be around or desired to do so fed me. I felt that all their hands were my own and that I was eating with my own hand. No condition or restriction applied to this body. To obey Bholanath's wishes, a small amount of food, a mixture of all items, would be eaten once by this body. On being asked whether or not she was negatively affected by not eating properly, Ma answered, "Eating or not eating makes no difference to this body." श्री श्री आनंदमयी मात की जय।